Yeah, let's go. Let's go for it. Yeah, well, there's a bit I'd like to add. One of the reasons why we engage with CBE is the fact that you might not know, out of 100 bikes made back in the day, 90 to 95% of them had to be sold abroad for the foreign dollar, because that's how it was back then. We still had to earn foreign dollar. Now, if you imagine all those bikes that were ever made, we reckon there's 30 to 40% of all the Nortons ever made languishing in North America in the backs of sheds, garages, workshops. It's our intention over the next 2 to 3 years to press hard and find out where they are, because that once they come out of the woodwork, we can then get them into the hands of younger owners to carry on the Norton experience. And that's something that both Andover, Norton and CBE are sort of are pretty keen to do. And we've got a few ideas. You might see some of them in a year or so. Whether I survive or not, I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, let's. So I think with that, let's take some questions from the floor.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put electric starts on them, because younger generation has no idea that there's any cachet to kickstarting a bike. Really. Anyways, Lucas is going to moderate taking questions, make sure everybody gets a fair opportunity. Just so you know, there's a conference speaker here. They can hear me talk like this at the back of the room. So just speak clearly, and they'll be able to hear you. It's totally interactive. Okay.
Yeah, we've got a little over 15 minutes worth of questions, so I'll try to moderate so then we don't have two people trying to talk at once. So I'll just point at you and call your t-shirt color. So who's first? All right, I saw a black shirt in the center. Is that blue? My bad.
Yeah, simple question. Pardon my ignorance, but where are they located?
Us?
Yeah, yes.
Classic bike. We're in just outside of Burlington, Vermont, about 100 miles south of Montreal.
Thank you.
All right, Jim Comstock.
Well, a couple of things. First off, Jack, I appreciate the work. And Mr. Cutter, you mentioned me as far as performance work, and I just wanted to say that yes, I've done a lot of performance work for racers and this kind of stuff, but when you're talking about a street bike, Norton had them pushed just about as far as they would ever go, reliably. And so that's the best way to build a street bike. They're just not, there's the old durability improvements you can make that are well known, and they're great. If you want to make it go faster, it ain't going to go as far. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, well,
and we send them to you.
Okay. Well, that's about it. But I appreciate all that you guys are doing. So it's good.
Yeah, it is that, and that's something with the Norton. Once it got stretched to the 750 and the 850, there's only so much you've got under that graph line. Now, do you want it all at the bottom? Do you want it spread equally, or do you want it all at the top? And realistically, a well put together Norton Commando is a very reliable bike. We ride with bikes across Europe here, and generally a well put together Norton would not break down. Somebody's 10-year-old Harley Davidson, chances are it's going to snap wires, break bits fall off, and it's just one of them things. Yeah, but it is that critical. As soon as you start tuning, you need to do more maintenance, more checking, more inspection. Put it together how it was. Good. Yeah, that's something you need to think about what you want the bike for.
You can build a great hot rod street Norton, but if you're going to make it durable, you're going to have $1 million in it, because you got to start all over. So, and I've never found a replacement cam that has more power under the curve than the original cam. Yeah. You get a little more on top maybe, and at the expense of durability and the mid-range and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, Norton did a good job.
They had it dialed in.
Yeah.
JRC Engineering.
Yeah. Phil Getty here. You mentioned the
getting the Nortons out from the sheds and reclaiming it. Now, Hitchcock's came over here when they launched their Royal Enfield push, and they vacuumed up every Royal Enfield thing there was. I mean, they found everybody. They bought everything. They were under every tree. They looked at every shed, and they took it all back to the UK. And there's famous pictures of their buys with giant buildings full of stuff. Do you envision doing that with Norton to find all these?
No.
And,
Why? Very, very good question. Why would we want to do that? It is something that we considered, but realistically, it becomes a problem in the UK because then people will want us to refurbish the bikes, etc. And with the cost of originally get them over there, there's no margin in it. Hitchcocks are actually selling off the spares as they are, or the bikes as they came in. Yes, it might generate more business for Royal Enfield in the UK, but realistically, there's no point taking them bikes from the US when the bikes are already there. There's people that may wish to ride them, and there's people like yourselves in that room that can help these people with the new Norton, that could bring them on, show them what to do, show them how to repair it, and give them the advice and guidance they need so that when they become, in their 40s and 50s, they've had the Norton 25, 30 years and they're still enjoying it like many of you are. It makes sense just to find the bikes that are out there and get them owned and on the road in the US. For us as a company, it doesn't matter. We're global anyway. 80% of what we sell goes abroad every day. We're a global company. We don't care where the bikes are, but it doesn't make sense to bring them home because that's just added expense for us. If you see the logic behind that, really, it's better off they stay where they are and refurbished and ridden where they are.
That's splendid. But when Hitchcocks came over, they were ruthless in collecting.
Yeah, they did. I've seen the photographs. They'll be selling that when the current staff are pushing up daisies.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much of it. It was huge amounts.
And thank you very much for supporting our business as well. We've done quite well.
That's no problem at all. No problem at all.
Yeah, hi guys. With the softening of the market kind of worldwide, do you see this as a bit of a patch? Do you think it will recover? And if not, what's your plans moving forward on that?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're nearly at the stage now where some of the classic bikes, the prices have dropped well under the half price what we could have got for them back sort of just after COVID. During COVID, it was a strange time because our Prime Minister here basically told everyone to turn and it's like, stay at home, don't go to work, you're still going to get paid, so therefore fix your Norton. So all of a sudden there was a massive demand for the bikes. I think your administration was still up in arms whether what they were going to do in if and when sort of thing. But in the UK, we had for about 3 days, we took 6 orders for parts in 3 days. Karl was panicking here, thinking he's going to have to lay people off. And then on the evening of the announcement, we're like, bugger, we've now got to figure out. We're lucky here. We can distance ourselves. So we carried on working, even though it was a little bit harder. We carried on. And after that announcement was made by our Prime Minister, our sales went through the roof. We had massive sales for 3 months, purely because of the lockdown and the furlough system we put in place. The market now is a different beast. The market's a strange one. We're still getting people buy the Nortons. We're looking mainly at the Mark III Commando with the left-hand gear change. They still get good money over here because we have a graded license system. So people coming off a restricted A2 license can go and ride Norton Commando with a left-hand gear change. There's some reluctance for people to swap from a left-hand gear change to a right-hand gear change. I'd imagine many of you, like myself, swap from one to the other and don't bat an eyelid. It's just trying to convince these new younger riders that they can do it as well. But I think it's just a trough. I think in future people will come through and buy the bikes. That's why we're keen to find out where they all are and get them out there. It's, if a young lad of 18, 19 years old sees a Triumph for a Norton go down the road, he's going to be like, wow, I want one of them. It's a sensible bike to have. You can fix it yourself. It's good. Yeah, so it just makes sense. I just see this as a trough. I've seen it many times in years past.
Yeah, because
it's just a trough.
Electric starts, they're getting good money still because sort of the older riders, well, they need the electric start now. So the older kickstart ones really tight.
Yeah. Well set up Norton Commando. You should be able to kickstart and start pretty easy. If it's not, there's something wrong. Fix
But it is
find
kind
out
of
what it
nice
is,
to
fix
have
it.
the electric start when it's 90, 100 degrees out. You've got all your gear on, and you happen to stall it at the light, and you're like, oh crap, I'm trying to start it real quick. It's nice to just be able to hit that starter.
Yeah. Next. Anyone else?
I'll ask one. Sorry, Ian Ray, maybe a long stretch, but any chance you'll go back 3 twins to like singles, start doing any of that? That's for Andover.
We are looking at that. It's a case of it needs to be viable. We're starting to look more on the gasket side. Some of the lay down gearbox side we're starting to look at as well. We are finding there is more and more demand because when the Commando prices were high, people could pick up a single, Norton single, just a little bit cheaper. The problem being is that there's an ES2, there is so many incarnations of that bike. Whereas with the Norton Commando was built over like a 7-year period, a lot of the parts can be interchanged. A lot of the single parts, the ES2 built from the 30s through to like 1960, 61, a lot of the parts are not interchangeable. And that's something you've got to try and figure out where you're going to cover. What model in what time period are you going to sort of support the best for the singles? But yeah, it's something we're thinking of. And the ES2 is going to be the first bike, I think, that we start with.
Awesome, thanks.
Anything else? I was kind of like what Ian was saying, what you could do for the Pre-Commando twins, but one thing I was looking at was a magnet in the whole drink plug for an Atlas for the wall tank. You have one for the Commando, one for the Atlas would be very, very low.
I didn't get after that. Somebody can chip in and Ian, can you
repeat that?
relay that one?
Oh, sorry, did you hear the question?
No.
It was about Pre-Commando, the Atlas on the drain plug of the oil tank, putting a magnet in that drain plug. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, is there any chance we'll see some of that part?
We can have a look at that. We got an Atlas here downstairs. We can soon have a look and see what we can do for that.
Sounds like you have one. So.
Yeah, if people tell us it's something we can look at and get manufactured. Some people are a little bit surprised. We've got a project underway at the moment where we deal with some American companies for various parts. Some you may know, like the I think it's the Podtronics. The shell bearings are US made, and also we're going to be getting conrod bolts in the very near future, within the next few weeks. They're coming from ARP. Just to let you know, yeah, we needed some inroads. They wouldn't talk to me for years and years after me pestering them because they said go to our distributor in the UK or Europe. Thankfully, with the CBE, Jack got in touch with them and said, look, you need to listen to these guys. So they did, and now must be just weeks away now from getting the conrod bolts. The reason we went to the US is because in the UK, if I want a conrod bolt for a steam engine, a tractor, a V12 diesel engine that goes in a cruise liner, I can get them 10 a penny. Trying to get the smaller stuff upset forged and made is a lot harder in the UK. Strange, we've lost a lot of our industry. We still kept some bits, but sadly, the smaller stuff we lost. But yeah, hopefully you'll see them coming online soon, the ARP conrod bolts. And just little things we're trying to improve the quality on.
What's a conrod box?
Conrod bolt.
Connecting block. Oh, thank you. Okay.
So what's the latest news on Avon tires? Have you heard?
Yeah, latest news on Avon tires. In the UK trade magazine that we get here in the UK, they've made an announcement that they will be making the Street Classic tyres, which is the Road Rider Mark II, in the factory, Montlucon factory in France. Now, I'm aware that some sizes will be manufactured in December. The one tyre they've not mentioned is the 19-inch universal of the Avon Road Rider Mark II in the 190/19 size. Now, if I was working for them, I don't see any logic in making that tyre, which would be a shame, but hopefully they do see sense and they do manufacture it. The next issue is going to be is the fact that any tyres made in France, because there's the trade deals that are already in place that stipulate any rubber product made in Europe can't be shipped into the US. So that might be a problem. Since 2020, we've been selling the Road Rider Mark II up until last week. If somebody wanted it in the US, it goes straight across your border, no problem, because we were selling the last of the UK-made items. But yeah, as soon as we hear anything, we'll put that out in our newsletters and let people know. But if push comes to shove, we will be looking at other manufacturers, and maybe, if need be, it wouldn't be beyond our capability to say to a manufacturer, we want a tyre in this size, this spec, and this style. You know, we can do that and go to a wherever they want to make them. I don't know if you know, but the TT100s are made all around the world. Some are made in France, some are made in Malaysia, some are made in Japan. Sadly, the quality on the French-made item, when you compare it against the TT100 made in Japan, cosmetically is like night and day. The Japanese TT100 looks a far better made product than the French made, but they have updated their machinery in the factory in France, which is good news. Any other questions?
We have time for one more question.
Okay, I'll ask it then. See it again. If you don't mind sharing, what motorcycles do each of you own personally? You can decline to do share, but I'm just curious.
I'll start. So I have a 74 850. I have a 74 Trident, and those two bikes were ridden by our friends from Andover at last year's rally. And I have my original 73 750 Triumph TR7. So I'm down to 3, and that's it.
Good number. Sure.
I have my dad's 74 Interstate Commando 850. That it's a Mark IIA. He imported it he bought it in Andorra in the Pyrenees, and that's when we were living in Spain. And now I own it, and I ride it as much as I can when it's running.
Oh, you should tell them your Google story.
Oh,
this
yes. And if I was showing a customer, this was about 3 weeks ago, showing a customer how to get to, he was taking a test ride, and our normal test ride path was all construction. So I was sending him up north. So I'm using Google Maps, and I'm like just clicking, and you know how you've got the little icon to Google View. I'm like, yep, keep going up this road, keep going. Hey, there's a motorcycle. Next one. Huh. I zoomed in. It was me, shorts, t-shirt.
No riding gear.
No riding gear. It's like, oh crap. Don't do that.
Immortalized.
What'd you, Ash?
For myself, I got 2 Mark III Commandos. Yes, you can kill haul me if you want, but yeah, I do like the Mark III Commando. It was made at the end of the run when they were administration and receivership, hammered together. But yeah, sort them out, and the Mark III is a big old mile muncher, and it was certainly good enough and comfortable enough to knock out some miles. And I've had various other things. I've got a soft spot for the XL250 Hondas. I think I don't know what you call them over there, XR or CR or something like that. I actually like those as well. So that's where I am at the moment.
You had to sell that to start working at Andover, right?
I did thin out some pieces. I had a split single pooch in the garage that had to go. Yeah, an MZ250 ETZ that I used to use in the winter months over here. So yeah, they've had to go. Now I've sort of down to the 2 Mark IIIs. I won't get rid of the Nortons. They stay. And of course, obviously, as Sherb knows, a whole stable of bikes downstairs that are available to ride on the company insurance. So
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble with probably the crowd here, but I'll change a little bit. I always say, you can't keep your first girlfriend or boyfriend. You can always keep your first motorcycle.
Yeah.
I still have my first Anyways, guys, thank you very much. We're at the top of the hour. So all of you, they joined an hour early, make sure this all works and hung around. And that it worked really well. I think we could all hear them. You could hear us. You can see your content. It's the next best thing to being here. Hopefully we'll see you at a rally in the near future. Ashley, it's almost time for me. It would be the time for the pub. I don't know about you. And
mate makes no odds to be ex-Royal Navy, whatever time it is. It's got to be there, haven't you? So
It's Wednesday, isn't
it's
it?
what
Bike
it is.
night at the Crown?
It is indeed, yeah. It is indeed bike night at the local pub. So
thanks very much for staying on. Sure, Jack, it was awesome. I appreciate your coordination with me on putting this together. And all of you, your support for the rally. Lots of door prizes and offers of help and assistance in that. It really means a lot to everyone here. Thank you very much.
All right, enjoy the rest of the rally.
lovely. Thank you.
For everyone in the room, that means